Hi, guys. You don't know how many takes I have done so far trying to do this deep dive on Justin Bieber, but there's been one thing or another. At least now there isn't the leaf blower going outside. So I want to do a deep dive on Justin Bieber and check in to his well-being given light of current events with compassion and respect. Um, I want to satisfy certain questions at the same time, but not be uh, salacious and check in and check in to see how things are going to go for him and his new family and his wife, their little family. And I wish them the best, seriously. So I'm asking Spirit, what do we need to know? What would it be of benefit for us to know and understand about how Justin Bieber is feeling right now, given the climate of, sorry, of course my clock is going to chime. I'll just keep pausing that when it does. Given the climate with the revelations about Diddy's corruption and parties and so on and so forth, and just shocking details that he seems like a really sensitive guy, and he is a Pisces. Um, and I'm sure he's got to feel some certain ways about this, and I'm glad that he's focusing on his family. But I want to make sure he's got enough support around him and just check in with whatever Spirit is willing to share. And I'm asking for that guidance to read accurately and clearly with compassion. What do we need to know about Justin given right now the situation with Diddy? How's he feeling? Well, I'm getting the Magician, okay, and the Five of Swords. So this is interesting. This is looking at someone who's highly manipulative and a bully. I think he has a definite opinion on it. Now, I've never ever heard of Justin being a bully. I've only heard about him wanting to help the likes of Billie Eilish and be a protective kind of person. So I asked, given the climate with Diddy, he's definitely thinking of him and the manipulation, the tools that he uses in his manipulations of other people, be it substance, grooming people, basically. His tools of grooming people and his promises and his trickery. They're all there. You can use everyone to some degree or another is trying to get by, right? But we don't take advantage of other people. But this magician's a little different because he's got the card of the bully next to him. And if you note on this picture of this particular deck, there's a woodpecker that is tearing the hive apart. And that really speaks to the destructive nature of someone who could actually do great constructive good, but is choosing by will to express himself in a destructive fashion, especially where other people are concerned. It's a shame he doesn't seem to understand that, yes, this hurts other people, but it also hurts you because we are all connected. And he will end up feeling every bit of discomfort he has caused others to feel. That is the truth. When we end our cycle on this earth, we will know how we made other people feel, and we will feel what they felt. Okay, we're getting the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Well, he's thinking toward family and the future and things that he wants to do. There is great consideration with investing himself within community, family especially, and maybe tours later at some point, because this does look overseas potentially at some point. But really, he's going to focus on, I believe, with the Ten of Pentacles, on his trade, and I think maybe touring at some point, but ahead. It is further ahead with that Three of Wands. It is not on the horizon, on the near horizon. It's on the further horizon with the three. It's not like on the Two of Wands. So he's looking ahead for that, and he's thinking of, I feel like the money is for is family oriented, is going into, it's all about family with that Ten of Pentacles. I also think he's going to be watching how things play out, especially because of the money, with regard to the manipulative magician whom I've identified. By the way, all my readings are alleged for entertainment purposes only. So, we get the Tower, though, coming. Something unexpected. And we do get, well, in this card, it's the Delphic Bee. Let me just check that. Hold on. Okay, well, this is very interesting. You know, it's the placement of the what you call a hierophant. Sorry. Anyway, she was the Delphic Bee in this card was like the Oracle of Delphi, or Delphi. I'm not quite sure how other people pronounce it, but I say Delphi. And we have the Tower here. There is something coming here, and it is a big breakthrough, or a break to do with spirituality and belief systems. Now, I know that he's been very involved with that church Hillsong that Kris Jenner actually owns, I think. But there's something coming for him where faith is concerned, and tradition, more traditional conservative type of beliefs. There's going to be some kind of sudden, I don't know if that's a break from it or some kind of revelation, but there's something coming with regard to him, and that, I feel, spiritual place that he goes to, which would be Hillsong. This is interesting. That's a whole nother thing to dive into, folks. But anyhow, it deals with prophecy and divine knowledge. It could also be a breakthrough that isn't traditional, that he might receive, that is very outside of what he's used to with regard to traditional spiritual beliefs. I think that's definitely going to happen. It could be that there's problems that will occur within that community, or that maybe even that church, or maybe just for him and that church. But I do see some kind of really disruptive, unexpected break that's a reset button, and it has to do with traditional beliefs and that kind of particular path. All right. So the interesting thing is, in this deck, which again is the Into the Hive, It says that you're being called to study or commit yourself to a particular path, reflection, or spirituality. And if you're a member of a group or an institution, and he is, it is time to take a step forward into a position of teaching or spiritual leadership. But there's some kind of maybe something sudden with maybe leadership in that community. I don't know. There's a shakeup coming. And I need to pull a few more cards to see what kind of shakeup exactly. But it's definitely involving his faith. And we get the Eight of Pentacles. It's a practice. It's something that one does regularly. Okay. And there's the Moon walking away. There's some hidden aspects. It's not just it reminds me, I know why I said that. It reminds me because a person is walking away, but it's also reminding me of the Eight of Cups here very much, where someone is going through a transition. I think there's a dark transition, though. And there's something that I think there's a scandal brewing within that community. There's something coming because it's something that's been hidden with the Moon. It might make him want to walk away from it. He might actually break from it if that's what I'm seeing. And that's, to be honest, the energy I am getting. And it might have to do with people that lead it, those who are in charge. There's something coming. Okay, that's interesting. And because it's the Eight of Pentacles, it's probably connected to money and something that's done to, build money, earn money. The focus is also on a repetitive task. So I'm kind of getting both feelings here. But it's in connection. I feel like Spirit is warning us to this spiritual group that he's connected. So that's we'll have to just, keep our eyes on the horizon there. It looks like it's going to come, right? But I think it could be a little further down time's road, if you will. But for right now, he's just focused on his family. And then I see him breaking from, it looks like to me, in all probability, from the church, that Hillsong church, perhaps. There's something going to happen with that. All right, let's continue. I'm getting the Three of Pentacles. Well, this involves often a collaboration. Now, because this is on the heels of the Tower card and its connection to the Hierophant, this is, and we get the church windows as well. It's again kind of making me feel like maybe these cards are going to, there's a rebirth. There's going to be people that I think are going to leave with him. This is the world. So I just feel in this deck, the rebirth. There's something that will have been completed, and they will, as a group, I feel like there is an ending and a new beginning. What is up with that? The Ten of Wands and the Three of Cups. This is a this deals with, as you see, this bee is laden with pollen, and it's struggling to, it's a heavy load to take it back to the hive. And here we see um, this very social, again, number of three. So we're being highlighted again about three people that's significant maybe to that church are going that I think are going to walk away. And I think there's probably maybe form another church. It looks like there's some hidden aspects, something secretive that's going on. And there could be something that they don't expect that just is stunning. And I think him and a few others are going to be, especially a highlight on the number three, are going to be like, I can't do this. I have to make something else. So I I feel that there's a great deal of work. There's a great deal, but there's enthusiasm at the same time for this little core group of people. They're helping each other get through something. Maybe he's going to create some sort of support in and amongst themselves if there's a crisis within that community. Because I'm getting cards of him leaving it. And it's a sudden, stunning, unexpected action. So there's the Hanged One and the Wheel. There's a change in his perspective. It could be that he'll have a spiritually transformative experience that doesn't fit that belief system anymore. But more to the point, I'm thinking there's something that's kind of with the moon, something that was secretive, kind of a hidden agenda that he may not agree with, because it feels more like he wants to wash his hands from it, and other people in a small group want to as well, that are connected to it. And they take action. There's a change in their perspective with the Hanged Man, and we get the will that this is a time for change. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it feels like this is something coming in, an influence from the outside that's meant to push people into the next things that they got to work on. That's your next set of things to deal with from what you've done in the past. It's the wheel moves forward. And here, I think he's going to be going and taking action, kind of pulling back with the Hanged Man, not being involved. I see him leaving that church, it looks like, according to those cards, and maybe trying to find some other sort of place, or I don't know. Okay. Now we get the Fool. This is really about something new spiritually with him. And there's some kind of new adventure that he's going to be on, I think, with his spiritual growth, that he's going to really be accelerated. This new path, he's going to be eager to explore it. So it feels like, I don't know, either he undergoes a really highly transformative experience, or it could be some issue within the place of worship. It may shift or change that isn't anticipated, and he is going to really commit to this really different, outside of what he was doing before, spiritual path. And yeah, with the Chariot and the Nine of Wands, I think he is very directed. He's very determined to overcome, and he's going to make it through. But it shows, he's got trauma. He's got some dings and after effects. Um, but I feel that the direction that whatever it is he's going to be going in with the Chariot, I think is a stabilizing, helpful effect given what he's been through. So let me just pull some more. Princess of Swords and the World. Yeah, there's a certain freedom that he's going to feel from the past with regard to what he's experienced trauma wise. Um, it's super positive. He's completing something. And there's such a essence of a spiritual awakening of some kind around it. The Nine of Pentacles and this Ten of Swords. It's, I think, him recognizing that lifestyle of luxury that is promoted and the fame, uh, you pick, you pay a heavy price for with the Ten of Swords, and there's a release from, I think, what he's gone through with this 10 in connection to the lifestyle and keeping up with that lifestyle. He's going to be choosing his more of his own path. Really celebrating, I think, thinking probably more for himself. Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So we're looking at stability, and we're looking at issues of substance and mind altering issues. And I think him wanting to have control versus not being in control when you're under the influence of something with that Seven of Cups. This is Haley, his wife. She's a Sagittarius, Queen of Wands, and the Princess of Pentacles. I'm wondering, is she going to get pregnant again? And now I know that I'm looking further into the future, just so you know. There could be maybe a little girl coming. Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. There's something, she might want to try and keep this quiet. But yes, with this Six of Pentacles, I think someone might leak it. I just did now, if that happens. I'm just saying there's a high possibility, a high probability. And it says Princess of Pentacles. So it might even be a little earth sign child. Now I'm getting an adult, a King of Wands, and a Five of Wands that's engaged in a great deal of conflict or argument. Now it's shifting to a King of Wands, somebody that's more antagonistic. Yeah, it could be Diddy, but it could be someone else. This is further down the future. I think he's trying to put that where it needs to be. But here I'm shown what's coming into his horizon around about the time that it looks like possibly um, his wife Haley would be, if that page of pentacles isn't an actual child or princess of pentacles, then it might be a small job or some kind of offer that has a little promise to earn some money. It could be a business proposition. But whatever the case may be, I kind of felt like baby for some reason. That was the first thing I went with. I am getting a man that is proving to be very conflictual, and some that information being leaked. So I think it's probably a child. Maybe this is somebody that leaked the information. Even a company, electronic. This is arguing. All right. This deals with the past, with the Six of Cups and the Ten of Cups. It has to do with small children or the past, and again, that family. So I feel like she's going to get pregnant again, and there's two children, and it's got the whole family vibe. I think we're being given to show that he really is going to focus on his family, and that he's got possibly another child that in the not too distant future is going to arrive. And I think that information or something that's connected to it could get leaked. And there might be some action that he's taken to protect his family, and with people that are problematic, because that really does look like it is his focus, and good for him. The other thing I will recap is that it does look like something's going to happen with his spiritual path that is very transformative and is meant to be, to get him to continue to broaden and grow spiritually. And I just think it's unexpected for him. I think that he might outgrow maybe Hillsong if there isn't some kind of scandal. Um, let's just see what we get. You know what? All right. Why would Justin leave Hillsong? Is he going to have a spiritually transformative experience of enlightenment of some kind? Or is it a scandal? I'm getting something about what, his wife is showing up there, I feel. Possibly her. Possibly her. A Queen of Wands and a King of Pentacles. So a male and a female. Maybe these are people that are connected to the operation of that church. Can't remember what sign Kris Jenner is. But I'd say these are probably people that are big in there. We're getting the Seven of Wands. They're going to be trying to overcome some serious obstacles with the Six of Wands. They're trying to win something, and somebody really is also wanting to be seen as winning, the winner. They want an audience. What's this about? The Seven of Wands. Well, they're going to really try to overcome. There's a man and a woman trying to really overcome, I think, some serious allegations that are going to come up with the Seven of Wands. Please just ignore my grandfather clock. I hope you like it. I do, but I have to ask my husband to mute it next time I film. The wheel. Yeah, there is some change coming. Look, there's some excess that is going on when we get temperance and a change that is moving to bring someone to a more balanced path. So there could be something that is excessive in some manner that's gone on there. Um, and I think Justin is going to be taking himself somewhere else. If there's a change, there is movement with that wheel. Could it be that queen? Oh, this could be him. Is this, I don't know, is this Haley in him? I mean, like, I know he's got a lot in like Virgo and stuff. I'm not sure. They could also be people just connected into the institution. But I feel like the cards I'm showing indicate a showiness on their part of trying to overcome some sort of battle that they're going to be engaged in. And it looks like somebody challenges them. There could be challenging allegations that come up, and the problem is going to show some kind of excess that is going to set off a change. These are major arcana. So this is big energy. We get a Princess of Wands, some activity here, and the Eight of Jars. Yes, walking away. There is enough. Look, going out the door. Bye. I've got my stuff packed. There's leaving. There's something going to happen in connection that they're not going to be on board with, or that they've got a quandary. I think now there's no quandary. It's just straight up they're out the door. So that's interesting. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. All right. How will Justin's family life go with Haley and his child now and future children? How will his family life go? And I pray it be blessed. Eight of Wands, that is really good. So this is a quickening. And the Prince of Wands. This could be the small child. That could be his son growing up fast. You know, when they're small, when they're itty bitty, you know, there's so many big changes they go through. You know, this is kind of like a toddler. I think, again, he's really focused on his child. That's wonderful. And the Five of Jars here. There is some sense of grief or mourning, dealing with some depression from trauma. I think what he's dealt with for sure, and what he's gone through over his life. But he's going to be trying to, I think, work through it so that he can move on with that Nine of Wands. He's not just stuck at the Five of Cups. And his focus is on his child. So I think that it's pretty much what we think. By focusing on his family and it's the best thing for him. It is helping him to be resilient and endure. He's going to be starting to release, I think, some emotion that could have come or started, back when he was a kid with that Prince of Jars. So there's like a release from this toxic past. And Eight of Pentacles, working on every day, I think focused on working, I think on staying sober, honestly, and working on creative outlets. Yeah, we get the Fool and the King of Pentacles. He could end up, this almost feels like business, working more of a business angle, starting a business or collaborating with somebody on a business. Ace of Wands, Eight of Swords. He's just got to believe in himself. And I think it has to do with helping people take action that feels stuck. Might be some component of what he aims to do to help other people. Maybe people that definitely he wants to help people, like he said, Billie Eilish, and I'm sure other young people not get pulled into what he did. Yeah, Three of Swords, King of Wands. He wants to keep people from being taken advantage of from those in that industry like Diddy, because Diddy isn't the only one. And he knows that they do a great deal of harm. There are secrets, and that he's going to be, I think, struggling to deal with, because as they come out, I don't know that all of them will come out, but some of it will. The Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. I feel there's a woman that he gets close to with that Two of Cups. It feels like a real friendship. Very down to earth type of person. Somebody that's healthy. I don't think I think it's just a friendship, a true friendship. Probably another entertainer. We have the Prince of Swords. This is communication, yes. And the Princess of Jars. I think maybe even talking about children, and maybe she's going to have one too. So I see him focusing on family and on being around different people and overcoming, I feel like, with a new path that is totally different from how things were, and that people will need to embrace that. It's so interesting. Two of Wands, yes, there's that new path coming. And the Ace of Jars. It's going to be much more, I feel like, emotionally fulfilling for him. His heart is going to be able to open up with these children. But when your heart opens up, then you have to deal with feelings. And as children age and they come to the age where he was when things happened to him, I'm sure that's going to be difficult. But I believe that there's highly transformative events coming on his horizon. Highly transformative here. Four of Pentacles, there is security as a father and a man. This is him. And this is him as he matures. And look at all the honeybees. He will become the emperor and have security and feel secure. The Ten of Pentacles, that's the family, and the Four of Cups. This is maybe also with the Ten of Pentacles, I think there's something that's going to stick in his craw about those that overspend with that 10. Now, that could be problems. I'm sure Haley likes to spend, but I keep getting this with him. I think he likes simplicity, though he probably has certain things he likes. I think he has a disinterest in being, with this 10 of Pentacles, maybe, let's say, obscenely wealthy. But he is going to have security. That's what matters more to him. He can't connect to that lifestyle issue. That lifestyle issue that, like Diddy had, comes up again and again. And I think because of that, maybe it's going to really sit poorly with him. Yeah, the Five of Wands and the Hermit. He's going to eventually, I think, go his own way, become more reclusive, become more to himself as he ages. And I think he will selectively shine his light and share his light with those that he doesn't, so that other people don't follow, in his footsteps or fall victim. I think he's going to highlight the path of what you're up against. Yeah, Ace of Swords, there's going to be clarity, and the Six of Pentacles. I think he might even end up writing about his past. It's just a feeling. That could come later as he's aging. I'm looking, ahead here. Very clear about guiding people about the industry. Young people especially, strength and rebirth. So he's going to endure and undergo highly transformative experiences that yet I don't believe that he has yet significant things to do here. He will still be very famous, and the Nine of Pentacles, he'll be independent. He'll be wealthy enough to be independent to do what he wants. And that's good. But complete change of, as he ages, about the industry. He's going to be more selective, and careful, and guide others to be so as well. He's going to undergo real change. And I think he's going to be very inspiring to a lot of people. And I'm glad to see that for him. It also would indicate to me, with the Nine of Pentacles and this rebirth card, that his health will improve, because that's a real big change. And yeah, we get something to look forward here with healing and the Temperance. I think things that are out of alignment, he's going to work, through his shadow stuff to overcome. So good on him. And, there's contentment and the Princess of Pentacles. I feel like it's just enjoying his children and enjoying life. And I'm super glad to see that. And yes, it will be an adjustment. It won't just be instantaneous, but it's going to be profound for him. And I'm so glad to see that. Now, I think it's fair to say, given the cards that I've gotten for him and how he feels, hang on a minute. I think it's fair to say that he is going to not only survive but thrive. But he's going to undergo some really big spiritual changes, and I think he and his wife might step away from the house of worship they go to, and it'll be a good thing for him. And I see him growing and spiritually more his own into himself, and not looking outside of himself so much. So real true wisdom and helping other people. I just think there's going to be some things that come up he doesn't expect. And I think some of that will include another child. And I think he's going to have two fairly young ones, kind of, that is not that looks to happen, I think, not so far down the road, because I have a feeling that the children won't have a big gap of age difference. I think probably at most maybe 3 years, and probably less. And I know she just had her son, but I think that she will fairly quickly have another one. So it looks good for Justin. And I think we can see from the cards that he got that he went through stuff with regard to Diddy. And he's looking to absolutely leave that all behind 100%. And he hopes that everyone else will understand that he's not still involved in that he's changed. And he'll pull back more to himself as he ages. He's going to become more spiritual. Let's see, what else do we need to know? Is there anything that we need to know about what he experienced while he was hanging out with Diddy? Is there anything that we should be aware of with regard to Justin while he was hanging out with Diddy? Get the Queen of Pentacles, and we get the Hanged One. Is that his mom? I just feel like somebody didn't step up. There's a suspension. There's and maybe a different point of view now. I don't know. The Seven of Jars. Okay, there's Seven of Cups. Substance, party scene, and strength. He's endured something there. And it brought on issues with substance, but he's, I think, working consistently to overcome it with, I'm glad to see the strength card there. The Two of Cups and the Ten of Wands. That connection was the source of a great deal of stress for him. It was a struggle. He was overloaded, and especially trying to keep up with people in that scene. The Fool and Temperance. So he's definitely done with overdoing it and being excessive with substance, and he's moving toward healing. And really, the message is he's not in the same place, and that people uh, will need to appreciate the strength that he actually has and encourage him uh, to continue to be focused on his family and his sobriety and his spirituality. That's super, super healthy for him. And I think he's going to be not have a problem with finances. He'll be okay. His family will be all right. Um, and I really feel that with all that shenanigans, he's going to walk away from a lot of this icky past energy. Something big is definitely coming with the tower. So, and it has to do with spiritual insight. And I feel like a breaking away from a very limiting, perhaps more, whatever case that might be in his belief system, thoughts or beliefs. There's like an expansion that is meant to happen for him spiritually. So, hooray for him. And if you appreciate readings like this, I'm glad to see also that it looks like he's got more family coming. Um, do give me a thumbs up, please. Thanks so much. And remember, we're all connected. Let's lift the collective up, especially people even like Trump and others that need it, because we're all connected. We want good stuff. So, healing for all. All right. Thanks so much. And thank you for subscribing if you haven't. Bye.